Hello, everybody. It's Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And today I have a friend with me. This is the amazing Arielle Ford. So Arielle, I'm just so thrilled that you're here and what we're about to talk about.
Yes, I'm excited too. Look at us in our primary colors.
I know, right? So if you all can kind of sense and feel, this interview is not just with Arielle and myself. This is also with Debbie Ford, who is Arielle's sister, who was, for many of you that don't know, Debbie was a phenomenal, amazing light worker, teacher, coach on this planet who unfortunately passed way before I think her time was up, but she's not done because she's actually writing books and getting her books published from the other side of the veil. So it's an amazing story. I want actually Arielle to share a bit about it, but for those of you that don't know Arielle, she is a leading personality in the personal growth and contemporary spiritual movement. For the past 30 years, she's been living, teaching, and promoting consciousness through all forms of media. And she's celebrated love and relationships as an expert speaker. She's a co-author and co-host of Evolving Wisdom, the Art of Love series. She is a gifted writer and the author of 11 books, including the international bestseller, The Soulmate Secret, Manifesting the Love of Your Life with the Law of Attraction, which was published in 21 languages in 40 different countries. She's also written many groundbreaking books, including her most recent, which is a transformational coloring book, Inkspirations, Love by Designs, as well as Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate. And one of my favorite books that she wrote is Wabi Sabi Love. That just completely shifted me on so many different levels. It's not even funny. So, Ari, I want you to share this story because I don't even want to introduce this with Debbie and how this came about. So obviously your sister Debbie, she was with us from 1955 till February 17th, 2013. Changed so many people's lives. I remember going through my first relationship, my first marriage, and her book, Spiritual Divorce, guided me. It was like having Debbie right next to me the whole time. And I did it in a way that felt like I was leaving with love and integrity. And it completely changed the trajectory of my whole entire life and my relationship with my, soulmate now, Frederick. So share with me how this came about, how Debbie passes and all of a sudden you find out about a book that you didn't even know she wrote.
Right. Well, here's what happened. A little more than a year ago, I got a call from James von Prague. And for those of you who don't know him, he's the world's most highly esteemed medium, talks to dead people kind of guy. The movie The Sixth Sense was all about his life. Anyway, he's a longtime family friend. And he called one day just to say he'd moved to San Diego, where I live. And he wanted my husband and I and my mom to come see his new house. And while we were there, he offered to give us a reading with Debbie. And this was really special because you can't actually hire James to do a private reading anymore. If you want to see him, it's with 3,000 other people in the room. He just doesn't do private readings. So of course we said, yes, we'll be there, whatever you want. So he takes us on his tour of his new house. It's phenomenal. And we sit down in his office to start the reading with Debbie. And she jumps in instantly. And the very first thing she says is, Arielle, you have to write a prayer book with me. And I said, no, Debbie, I don't think so. I don't know how to write a prayer book. And I don't want to write my own books, let alone your books. No, thank you. And she was kind of being really nudgy. No, you don't understand. You have to write a prayer book. And I was like, no, I do understand. And the answer is no. And then in between, my father, my stepfather came through, my husband's parents. And every couple of minutes, Debbie would jump back in and she'd say stuff like, you really need to write this prayer book with me. Well, the reading went for 90 minutes and she never let up. And by the end of it, I just said, James, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but she's not going to leave you alone or leave me alone till I say yes. So Debbie, I don't know how we're going to do this, but yes, we'll write a prayer book together. So we're driving home and my husband, Brian, says to me, all those many hours I spent with your sister, driving her to her chemo treatments and her doctor's appointments and in and out of hospitals, I remember her telling me that she wrote some prayers. So why don't you get a hold of Julie? And Julie's the woman who still to this day runs her institute. Maybe Julie has copies of these prayers, and at least it would be the start of a book. So I get home, I send Julie a 1-sentence email that I still have that says, by any chance, do you have copies of any prayers that Debbie wrote? And Julie writes me right back and she says, oh, I can do better than that. She wrote an entire manuscript. I've attached it. Now, I was her literary agent. So for me not to know that she'd written an entire book was like unfathomable that this happened. But the truth was, the last year of her life, when we were together, we weren't talking about books. We were talking about pain levels and experimental treatments and what did she need. We weren't talking books. So I open up the PDF and I start reading. It's 200 pages, fully edited. It is the most gorgeous, stunning thing she's ever written. It's just unbelievable. I finished reading the book. If you cry, I'm going to cry.
No, you've told me that you and I have had a one-on-one story about this, and I'm still crying over here.
Yeah,
and I feel her so present with us.
Yeah, she is. She is. And so what happened was I read the book, and then I called her editor at HarperCollins, Gideon Weil. He also happens to be my editor, James Von Prague's editor, Marianne Williamson's editor, and Deepak Chopra's editor. And I called Gideon. I said, Gideon, I need to talk to you about my sister. And he stops me and he says, oh, Arielle, I've been feeling so guilty for the last 4 years. Your sister always wanted to write a prayer book, and I always talked her out of it, and I feel so bad. And I said, well, Gideon, open your inbox. You have redemption today. I just sent you the book. And so, of course, they bought it instantly. And I found out that the reason I didn't know about the book was because she wrote it and she went straight to Gideon, and he turned it down, so she never mentioned it again. But Julie always had a copy of it. So the book is out on March 6th. It is her, out of everything she's written, this is book number 10. And what the book is, it's so beautiful, Christy, because it starts with her story of being a drug addict and being in her 4th treatment center on the 10th day when all she wanted to do was run away and go find some drugs. And instead, she locked herself in a bathroom, which she said had the dirtiest floor ever. She got on her hands and knees and she prayed and she prayed and she prayed, and she had a spiritual awakening. God came to her and told her if she would pray every day, she could get sober. And that was like 25 years ago. So this book is how she used prayer to get sober, stay sober, connect with her divine self. And it's filled with original prayers that she's written, as well as prayers from her mentor, Emmett Fox, prayers by Marianne Williamson. And it's this gorgeous, rich, prescriptive book for anybody who's dealing with any form of addiction, whether it's a hard addiction or a soft addiction, whether it's self-loathing or procrastination, or for anybody who just wants to be more themselves, to be connected to their highest self. That's who this book is for.
Oh, I love it. You know, it's funny. I did a Vice Freedom program and challenge in January, and it was amazing to see how many people have vices. How I don't call them.
Isn't it everybody?
Exactly.
Yes, because we all have compulsions. You know, and we wake up every Monday, oh, I'm going to eat healthier, and I'm going to cut out sugar, and I'm going to do my exercise, and I'm going to stop watching the Kardashians and read my Neil Donald Walsh books, or whatever it is that we say, and then we don't do it. And then we beat ourselves up, and then we feel bad about it. And really what Debbie discovered was that if you just take a few minutes to say these simple prayers, to give gratitude for everything that is working, and stop beating yourself up for what's not working, then we can make progress.
Yeah. Well, I was saying it's not even it is the outer behaviors. Like you said, I'm going to stop eating sugar. I eat sugar. I beat myself up. So it makes me go eat more sugar, so it's a vicious cycle, right? But it's also the internal vices, the procrastination, the complaint,
Right.
the comparison, the, you know, the judgmental attitude, all of that stuff. So I love that this prayer book, it helps you walk through any of those vices, addictions, those habitual
Right.
things that are so.
Right. And you just reminded me of something. So one of the things I did a couple of weeks ago was I said to James, I want to interview Debbie about the book. You know, would you be willing to sit down and let me videotape an interview? Because I want to know why she wrote the book and why it's important that it comes out now. And what did she learn since she's been on the other side for 5 years? And I didn't really know what to expect. Oh my God, it went so deep dish. And she talked about that two of the most important things she's learned is how toxic being judgmental is, both for ourselves and the judgments we have on others, and how important forgiveness is. And we talked about what she's learned about love. And it went completely deep dish to the degree that A, I wish I'd spent more money on the production quality of it because it was just a one camera thing. And B, we're giving away the half-hour interview to anybody who buys the book. So if anybody just goes to debbieford.com, they can access that and a bunch of other cool things. We found a bunch of audios of meditation she's done. And we're even going, one lucky person's going to win a reading with James Van Praagh.
Awesome.
So we put together this little package to really encourage people to, you know, if you're not happy with your life, if there's things you want to change, that there's a direct line to God and it's you.
I love that. So direct line to God and it's you. And I'd say for anybody that has any type of contrast in their life, that want to change any aspect of their life, or if your life is great and you want it to be even better, the power of prayer is like, it's so phenomenal. Yeah. So we're going to put a link to purchase the book underneath the video, but you could also go to debbieford.com to be able to receive that interview.
The bonuses, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to it too. I mean, it's funny too, because I've had, you know, I have told you many times, Arielle, there's been so many times where I feel the presence of Debbie with me, and she has such a funny personality. It's just like, you know, it's like she's in there. She wants me to listen, and she wants me to listen now. And I never had the pleasure of physically meeting her, but there's some kind of connection, a deep connection that I have with her. And I feel like she, as a teacher that's still here on the planet, I feel like she's guiding me from the other side. And I'm grateful for that.
And I hear that from so many people. Oh, I never met your sister, but she tells me what to do. And I was like, yeah, she's really bossy. She's still telling me what to do, you know, but if you're smart, you'll listen to her.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. When I have to tell you this real quick, one day I was getting a massage and I felt her come in and I'm like, well, that's Debbie. And it was soon after Louise Hay had passed. And all of a sudden I felt Louise come in and I was like, and then all of a sudden I felt Wayne Dyer. And I'm like it was, I just couldn't even say anything to the three of them because I'm like, oh my God, it's like the three of these amazing healers, authors, groundbreakers. I mean, and I just felt like I just soaked in their vibration, their love. And so I'm just grateful anytime I get a visit from any of them. But Debbie especially, like you said, she's just very like, don't do that, do this, go there, don't, you know, it's very directive.
Right. Yeah, no, it is. And it's easy because I prefer just give me the bottom line, you know, don't butter me up. Don't tell me a bunch of stuff. It's like, is it yes or is it no? Is it this or it's that? You know, what direction to go. So I appreciate that. And I have to say, you know, I know you lost your sister and you know how painful that is. It's at a point now where she's so present that the pain is gone. You know, like there was this missing before, this incredible pain of not having her here, but she's so here now. And I was telling this to Marianne Williamson not too long ago, and she said to me, she said, you know, people asked Yoko Ono, how was it for her after John died? And she said, well, before he died, we were together 90% of the time, but now I have him 100% of the time.
Without the idiosyncrasies too. That's what I find with my sister. I get the best of her with me all the time. Yeah. So
aren't we lucky?
Seriously, truly. I'm very grateful that I'm open in that way and that I can connect with her anytime I want to, because then for me, it's never a loss.
Right.
It's not a sense of loss because I have her on such a deeper, and I feel her guiding me. And it's weird. All of a sudden, I see dimes everywhere. Like I've always seen money, and I do this thing with the kids. We see a penny. I am abundant, doopy doopy doopy, and I've been doing that with them since they were babies. And then all of a sudden, it's like dimes started showing up. And I had a reading from someone saying that, do you find dimes a lot? And I said, yeah, I find them a lot. Like it used to be pennies, now it's dimes. I'm like, I just thought I up-leveled my abundance factor. And she said, that's your sister communicating with you.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Like, oh, that's kind of cool. So it's just neat to have that connection. I'm grateful that you have it and we're able to receive it and to be able to bring forth Debbie's work still from the other side. So
crazy.
Really amazing. So go below the video, click on the link. You'll be able to buy Debbie's book. Do you have the cover or the picture?
Yes. This is the galley. It's called Your Holiness. And what's really interesting about this book is she never liked any of her book covers, but I know that she likes this one. This was a picture that was taken just a few months before she passed. She was teaching in Copenhagen. And but she did tell me for the paperback, this will be the hardcover, she wants the background to be white. So we're going to make those changes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank
so
you.
Grateful to have you here. Let us know what you're taking away from this. I know, you might have lost somebody or you might have had someone transition, and hopefully this has helped you in some way too. So leave us a comment and let me know what you're taking away. Thanks, everybody. Have an amazing week. Thanks, Arielle.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, and here is a related video to watch right now. Also, check out my free webinars on creating whatever you want in your life using the universal laws that I explain in each webinar. So share your thoughts by leaving a comment and continue the conversation at ChristyWhitman.com.